He's always been quick, but Kimmery's always liked to keep him in the pocket.
Knifer rolling out to pass. And that looks like Cannon Smith. Touchdown, Skyhawks.
Number 1.
Excuse me, that was number 1, Braden Shockley on the touchdown.
His favorite target, Dave.
We have 3 minutes, 20 seconds left in the first quarter, and Krupa's on to attempt his section extra point of the night. Oh, a penalty marker down. Offsides against Augusta Christian. Penalty declined by the Skyhawks. Krupa will line up to attempt the extra point again. Kick. And the kick is good, so the Skyhawks are up 14-0 on the line.
Dave, it looks like this Hammond offense is starting to find its groove and really rolling. So we've had some shaky throws by Jake, but him being able to run it and really mixing it up has gotten everything going for this offense. And, the defense is playing solid, but it's getting a lot of help, of course, from the, typically reliant Augusta Christian offense just being kind of non-existent. We haven't really seen anything so far from them. Well, we'll see if they can get a big play or two here and they can, cut into this 14-point deficit, which looks pretty daunting right now.
Yep, well, Knifer certainly looked good in his 2 touchdown passes tonight. They're bringing up to 19 on the season against just 5 interceptions. There's the kick. And it was touched, but finally picked up. That was a pretty good return right there to about the 36-yard line. That was Bryson Ashmore.
We'll see if they continue to work out of, the quarterback out there by himself in the backfield with 5 wide set, or if they, try and get the running back, number 21, Thomas Banks, who, has been averaging 9 yards a carry, been very productive, 700 yards. Looks like he is back there, and they're going to try and pound it. Tried to take advantage early on again with Grant Hensley out, the senior. They have Knox McCutcheon, but they made some mental errors and they stopped themselves. They really could have had some big plays early on in the first 2 drives, Dave. Yep.
Robertson with a fake handoff to the fullback. He's running around himself, gain of about 4.
And he is as dangerous as a runner. He does. He has a lot of yards rushing, close to 700 yards. Does have 13 rushing touchdowns and. Dave, that's quite a lot for a quarterback who also has quite a bit of yards passing as well. So he's very impressive.
Absolutely. I think we're seeing tonight what I remember seeing last year against Augusta Christian, where the spread offense wasn't really working at the beginning, so they're going to a more traditional offense.
He is under center again.
Robertson handing off to the fullback this time. I believe that was Sweeting. He's brought down for a loss on the play.
Number 2, Sean Sweeting, made by number 51.
That was number 51, Jordan Cox, on the tackle for the Skyhawks. No gain, it's 3rd and 6.
And yet again, Dave, they're in another 3rd down, 0 for 2 so far tonight. And, again, they just really got to convert here. They can't afford to go 3 and out for a 3rd time.
As a toss play to Banks. Banks going around the left side. And he's brought down very close to the first down marker. I think he got it.
He might have gotten that, Dave. Gutsy call there by the head coach. They could have easily not gotten that, and they would have been stuck in 4th down. But I think he might have gotten that first down.
Yep, toss plays are quite risky. They can be brought down in the backfield, and you can lose yards. And that was a first down, the referees are signaling. So the ball's up to the 48-yard line for Augusta Christian, first down.
Head coach Keith Walton breathing a sigh of relief, and now he might go back and throw it around a little bit now that Hammond's got to respect the run. Jonathan Thomas Banks is nothing to sneer at either.
There's a handoff. Excuse me, a fake handoff. And that was number 10, Tyler Roberson, up to, I think he's in Hammond territory, brought down at about the 49.
Number 21, Bo Acuff, read that all the way. There was no fooling him there, but Roberson's athleticism allowed him to get out, and instead of a loss of 3 or 4 yards, that might have been a gain of 2 on the play. And that right there is the factor and the ability that Roberson gives you as a fast, mobile quarterback. Is Hammond defense gets a lot of tackles for loss, but tonight that's going to be harder for them to do with him moving about.
Well, wake up, one of the pleasant surprises for the Skyhawks. They try that toss play again. It's Banks.
Keep our eye on the bench here, Dave. It looks like Jake Nidifer might be a little shaken up as Nick Garrett's warming up, throwing a lot of passes, and he's kind of sitting on the bench talking to the headmaster and some trainers. So hopefully he's all right. Hopefully he's not hurt.
We'll see. We haven't seen too much of Garrett this season. I expect to maybe see Logan Smith warming up at quarterback too, as he's done his fair share of quarterback over the years.
Don't fool yourself there. Nick Garrett is the future next year when Jake Nidifer leaves. He has come in when the mop-up duty, and he's a very good mobile quarterback. So we'll see a lot of him running if Nidifer is indeed hurt. But things don't look too good from up here right now, Dave.
Hand off to Banks. Got a good push there. It's another close call here.
I don't think he got it on that one. Question here is, as the clock starts to wind down from the first quarter, Dave, if it is 4th down, do you think it's wise for them to go for it? They have gotten the first down on this drive, and they are in Hammond territory.
Oh, it's just 2 yards. I say they got to go for it here. They have to get something up before the first quarter. It be easily in Hammond territory. It'd
be very disappointing to have a turnover here, though, Dave.
Man in motion, that's Fortenberry.
That's a big receiver target there, and I don't think he got that.
Roberson trying to sneak there. This is going to be close.
Yeah, 4th and 2, a quarterback sneak's kind of a questionable play call there from from Keith Walton there. I don't really agree with that call, Dave. On 4th and 2, I say you hand it off to your running back, but I don't know. They might have, and they're going to measure. Indeed, that's what they're going to need. And again, we see more and more trainers and head coach talking to Jake. He's got his head down. I don't know what's going on. No official word.
I'll have to see what's up with Jake Nidifer. I don't see him take too many any big hits or anything. Maybe as he was sliding down on that. That's the first down for Augusta Christian.
I didn't think he had it there, Dave. That could have fooled me. That defensive line looked like it got pretty good penetration there. But I think Jake might have gotten, on that rollout pass touchdown, he might have gotten, a bit of a shot there from a defensive player. So hopefully he's okay. This Hammond offense could look a lot different with Nick Garrett at the helm. But and the quarter ends, and I guess Christian could have a chance to put up some points here and make it a game. They could take advantage of a quarterback being knocked out.
Yep. Nidifer also took a pretty hard hit on this long scramble run up to about the 8-yard line to set up that last touchdown. So I suppose any one of those hits could have done it for him. But as of right now, we're not sure if he's going to come back into this game on the next drive or even at all.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, please direct your attention to midfield as
And center field, we have the Daniels brothers. All have been centers, all wearing number 50. And after this year, they will be retiring the jersey number 50, Dave. They've been a great family for the Skyhawks football.
Well, that's a great show of respect for a great Hammond football family.
They've all been great centers, but none better probably than Rue Daniels, as he is the one who's got 2 offers currently from big Division I schools. He's got one from Air Force, Appalachian State, and he's looking at Appalachian State, and he's got one from Wofford as well. So he could be playing big time college football next year out in Colorado Springs. That would be very cool.
Certainly would be.
its last 3 state titles. Hammond is 55-2 in Rude's career as the starting center. This past week,
Absolutely incredible. We just heard that Rue Daniels, as the team's starting center, has a record of 55-2.
Really speaks to the success of the football team he's around, Dave, and the contribution he makes to the team as well.
changes the atmosphere of practice and games by his enthusiasm and hard work. Head coach Eric Henry says this of the Daniels, quote, "One constant has remained in this amazing run of championships, a Daniels playing center. To have 3 brothers consecutively helping our team accomplish this is quite an amazing feat. As long as I am the coach at Hammond, the number 50 will always be synonymous with the Daniels family." Ladies and gentlemen, speaking for the faculty, Mr. Dennis Andrews and especially Mr.
A great thing of them to honor the Daniels brothers, as they've all been a part of a state title here at Hammond, and they've all just been a great family. You know, they're all great guys. They work ethic. Rue's been a great leader, playing 5 years of varsity football for Hammond. It's just a real honor, and it's really great to see Hammond sort of show some, respect and gratitude for the Daniels brothers and their contributions over the years.
A little added side note, Daniels is also the vice president of this year's senior class. Lions looking for a quick pass here. That's number 8, Fortenberry. Fortenberry brought out of bounds around the 35-yard line. So they're in Skyhawk territory and moving now.
Maybe they got a little groove here, Dave, starting to move the ball. They might get some production. They really needed that. They looked pretty lifeless early in the first quarter.
We didn't see too much of the spread offense early in this game from Augusta Christian. Have to see if they try to go back to it later on, if they stick with this more traditional offense.
Well, they looked really one-dimensional early on as well.
Yep, just one step and pass.
No.
Nice play here, Banks. Oh, and he is crushed in the backfield.
Number 21, Thomas Banks, the ball carrier. Number 51, Jordan Cox.
That was number 51, Jordan Cox, on the tackle.
That was a great pursuit there by Jordan Cox to get him in the backfield.
No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down from the 36.
We have a 3rd and 4 now. Another big 3rd down for Augusta Christian.
3rd and manageable to do, Dave. They've been stuck in 3rd and long all night, and 4th down as well. So let's see if they can manage this short 3rd down.
Looking to pass here. That's complete. He's right at the marker. Have to see what the referees say about this one.
Well, Augusta Christian's probably getting really tired of all these close measurements. They probably want some more concrete first downs, or else they're going to be real tired of having the chain crew measuring all night.
They're playing it pretty close to the vest tonight. Looks like that will move the chains.
It's a first down for the Lions at the Hammond 32-yard.
So the Lions are up to the Hammond 32-yard line.
Working out again with the I formation.
Take the fullback handoff. Whoa. And that is a great touchdown by Roberson. He had the Skyhawks absolutely fooled.
Well, he has some wheels there, Dave, and he just faked it to the fullback. And he just gassed the defense. They had no chance catching him. He is the threat that they really need to utilize. And if they want to keep up with Hammond, it looks like they're going to have to use him as much as they can.
That's Roberson's 27th overall touchdown this season.
And boy, that's some impressive speed there, Dave.
Absolutely. I think the Skyhawks might have been caught up trying to defend Sean Sweeting on the fullback run. Point after attempt is good. So it's 14-7 Skyhawks now. 10 minutes, 31 seconds left in the half.
Well, they took them a slow start, Dave, but looks like they might have finally woken up, and now their defense is really going to have to be poised to make a stop here. If Jake Nidifer, he is on the bench, it doesn't look like he's coming out. So, there's an advantage there to the Augusta Christian defense if he is indeed not playing. So, look for them to key on the run, and Nick Garrett is not a stellar quarterback throwing the ball just like Jake is. Earlier on, a few weeks ago against Cardinal Newman, it'd be 49-7. It'd be 3rd down, and Kimmery would take out the backup Nick Garrett because he doesn't trust him throwing the ball. Nick Garrett doesn't have the type of experience or type of skill that Jake Nidifer does, and it's obvious in the way Kimry, calls plays even when it's a blowout. So this offense is going to be a primarily running offense if Nick Garrett is indeed playing quarterback.
Have to see what Kimry likes to do here. I imagine he also want to get some passes in if the game's not too close to see what he's got for the years coming up in Garrett.
He's got a lot of coaching to do.
Myers and Shockley back deep to return for the Skyhawks. It's a low kick. Shockley going to field it inside the 10. It's at the 20. He's at the 30. The 40. The 50. The 40. The 30. And there he's finally brought down inside the 30-yard line. What an electrifying return.
Knox McCutcheon there on the return, Dave.
Excuse me, Knox McCutcheon.
He's been playing a lot of safety and a lot of running back lately as well. He's a backup running back. So he's been getting a lot of playing time in practice, and he's a very good player. He'll be the future of Hammond Skyhawks on offense and defense in the years to come. And there we go. Jake Nidifer is indeed out, like we said. Here comes Nick Garrett.
Let's see what Garrett has to offer the Skyhawks here. Sending Ken Smith in motion. Hand off to Myers.
And just like we said, they're going to have to stop Quayshawn Myers.
Myers
bounces off a tackle.
But couldn't get away from the pressure as he gained about 8 yards there.
We thought that play was dead, but yeah, they are going to see a lot of handoffs to Myers, and maybe they'll learn from Jake Nidifer. Maybe they'll key in on Nick Garrett and stop him, because he's clearly a much better runner running the ball than Jake Nidifer is. He's just that kind of athlete.
Garrett in the shotgun now. Myers off to his right. And that was a handoff to Myers, but he was brought down in the backfield as we have 8 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the half.
And here's where Hammond could become one-dimensional, and that's just going to hurt them. They're going to have to mix up play calling. They're going to have to give Nick Garrett a chance. This kid is a quarterback, and they're going to have to give him some quick, easy throws, maybe a screen to Quayshawn or a tight end, quick bubbles route to Cannon Smith or something over the middle to Braden Shockley. But they're going to have to ease him into this game. If Jake Nidifer's out, this is his game, and this is big because this is still a battle of two undefeateds. And right now the whole momentum just is swung in Augusta Christian's favor with that last touchdown.
Yep. Right there, the Skyhawks brought down way in the backfield. Myers on the run. He had absolutely nowhere to go. Brought down by number 13, Devontae Shanks.
And, Dave, that's going to push them way out of Ken Krupa's field goal range, too. So they could come out of that huge kickoff return by Knox and McCutcheon with essentially just nothing at all. So we'll see. What looks like Logan Smith came on, so he might punt. We don't know yet.
4th and 16 here for the Skyhawks.
And they are going to go for it, and he's going to give Nick Garrett an opportunity to throw the ball deep.
Well, I suppose it's Kimry's call, but I'm not sure if I agree with going for it on 4th and 16.
Well, you give up a. Looks like you'll have some time to think about it, Dave. But if you look at the way the game's gone, Hammond took advantage of Augusta Christian starting off slowly on offense, and as the first quarter ended, Augusta Christian kind of got things going with their quarterback, but. With your quarterback getting knocked out, huge momentum, they're fired up. They're ready to get their team back into it. This is a team that has state title, aspirations of their own. And if you go for it on 4th down and give them, decent starting field position, you're giving them more opportunity to create something big here. So we'll see what they do if they decide to go for it or not.
Well, Skyhawks still talking it over. I can't get over the thought that I suppose the Skyhawks offense definitely has big plays in them, but 16 yards, that's a long way to go.
And here comes Mary, the trainer, with the thing. They might be hauling Jake Nidifer out of here. He might have a concussion. I'm not sure.
Well, you never want to see anyone get hurt here, but Nidifer looks like he is going to leave.
Wow. That's a big blow. He will not be coming back in, that is for sure. That's a big, big blow.
Garrett looking to pass. He's airing it out. And that was incomplete. Couldn't hang on.
That was a beautifully thrown ball that, we've heard a lot of criticism of the way Nick Garrett's throwing motion is and how his balls look when he's throwing them in the air. But that one looked pretty. Just didn't really have a wide open receiver. And just was a little bit thrown to the outside. But good to see Kimry at least giving his quarterback the opportunity to make the play. And let's give them credit; they are still up by 7. So we'll see if they can hold the Augusta Christian offense here.
Well, there's only so much you can do in that situation as Augusta Christian comes out at the 33-yard line. Toss to Banks. Banks eluding one tackler, but running out of bounds at about the 33. Not much of a gain there.
Good containment there. Logan Smith almost had him for a huge tackle for loss, but he was able to keep him contained there, and he didn't gain much.
We have a second down and about 9 here. Just under 8 minutes to go in the half.
And they're working out of that I formation, Dave. Looks like they learned their lesson from a 5-wide set from earlier in the game. See if he can run it.
Yep. We have Banks running again here. He's got the first down and then some. And finally brought down by a couple of Skyhawks inside the 35-yard line. So that was a huge, almost 50-yard run.
Well, Dave, we've seen him give it to the fullback a few times, and that worked. So Roberson's advantage as he cut it out to the outside. This time, same play. They keyed in on him, and he got the pitch off to the running back Banks, and he had a pretty good move there at the line of scrimmage, and he just was gone. He's a fast running back. This is a very, very explosive team, and we've seen it so far tonight on a few big plays. Here they are again in the same formation. Let's see if they're on the same play.
Run here, gain of about 6.
I think if you're, Augusta Christian's coach,
we have a flag down. Could be unnecessary roughness after the play.
I think at this point in the game, Augusta Christian coach Keith Walden needs to just, I think he can remain in that formation and just keep running the ball because, as we've seen in past games against Wilson Hall, Hammond's defense isn't the best at defending the option. They give up some, pretty good runs on the outside. We saw that in the state title game last year. As Wilson Hall has found success there against Hammond's defense. And, I think if Augusta Christian wants to score points on this Hammond defense, they should keep running that. That's a penalty against the defense.
That's a big personal foul there. It looked like there was some shoving going on after
and then,
the play.
Save their, passing downs for third down. So we'll see what they do. But they've found some success here first half.
Hand off there to Banks. Banks got a little bit on that play, not too much. It's brought down by number 2, Ron Brown of the Skyhawks. Robertson still in the I formation. Looks like a handoff to Sweeting. Not much of a gain there, maybe a yard or 2.
And this Hammond defense hasn't given up too many points this year, Dave, especially down in the red zone. They're usually pretty stout. D-line is anchored, by Senior Rue Daniels that we talked about earlier. And the linebackers are really stellar this year, too, and Ron Brown. He leads the team in picks, and William Love leads the team in tackles. A bunch of seniors who really do a great job. So we'll see if they can stop them here.
There's the handoff to Banks. That's going to be close on the 3rd and about 1. We have 6 minutes, 25 seconds left in the half.
And if you're Augusta Christian, this is 4-down territory. They want to tie this game up. There's enough time here for them to score again in the first half, but they definitely want to score here, so they will definitely go for it on 4th down, especially if it's 4th and short.
Well, slide inside the 5-yard line here. We have a 1st and 5. That's a run up the middle.
That's going to be close, Dave.
Sweeting on the carry, brought down by William Love. Second and goal from outside the 1-yard line for the Skyhawks now. For the Lions. We have 5 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the half. Augusta Christian looking to tie it up here. Hand up to Sweeting, but he was stuffed immediately by the Skyhawks line.
And there's a good push there from the Hammond D line, led by Jordan Cox, Patrick Neese, and Rue Daniels there. The linebackers really helped on a blitz there too, but 3rd and 1, it's who wants it more. Which offensive line is stronger?
Yep. Skyhawks got to be looking for a goal line stand here. Augusta Christian wants to tie this game up heading into halftime. This is a big, big set of downs. 3rd and 1 from the 1-yard line.
I might call a timeout here, Dave.
Smart play here. I think this could potentially be a very big moment in the game. And it was a timeout for Hammond, so they have just 1 remaining.
All senior fall athletes and parents, please assemble in your assigned end zone. All senior fall athletes and parents, please assemble in your assigned end zone.
Well, Dave, Hammond sure is in a scrappy game here, and we haven't seen this close a game at home probably since the Charlotte Christian game. Charlotte Christian is a very talented team. They have beaten some very big schools up north in North Carolina that have been really impressive. So that win, back in early September, late August, that looks even more significant now. But this Augusta Christian team is definitely the biggest threat that they've faced ever since then, and it's really showing how they're not giving up and dying like most teams have. They're really fighting back when they're down by 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely. Against most teams, against Hammond by most teams, the 2-touchdown lead would be almost commanding and en route to a blowout. But that handoff to Banks, and it looks like he's in. Touchdown, Augusta Christian.
They certainly have not laid down and died. They have circled the wagons here, Dave, and they have really mounted I would think, a very impressive comeback. I think any team that can score 2 straight touchdowns on Skyhawks, and especially being down by 14, that's very impressive. And the key for this game is going to be Nick Garrett. Him managing the rest of this game is going to be very, very key. This is now his to win, his to control. Senior quarterback Jake Niderfer is out. He's got to be a leader. And he's got to have help, Dave. He's got to have help from his running back, from his offensive line, and from his receivers. We can't have any drops or any missed assignments there. He's really going to need all the help he can get.
The extra point is good, so 4 minutes, 37 seconds left in the half, and we're all tied up. Still waiting to hear some word on what actually happened to Jake Niderfer. Hopefully we'll have something to tell you by the time we start the 3rd quarter. Myers and McCutcheon back deep to return for the Skyhawks.
Oh, and McCutcheon would love to take another one pretty far deep into Augusta Christian territory again, Dave. I don't think they're going to give him the opportunity.
No, a very short kick by Augusta Christian. Looked like it might have been fielded by Bo Acuff.
Out comes the offense again, Dave, and they've already given it to Quayshawn Myers 10 times this game, first half, and we still got 4 minutes left to go in the game, and he's only averaging around 4.5 yards a carry. He's been averaging 9 on the year, so this Augusta Christian defense has done a pretty solid job of containing him, especially on that last drive there. He didn't have anywhere to run.
I think you have to remember with Quayshawn Myers that his yards per carry it gets boosted quite a bit by his long runs to the outside, and we haven't seen one of those yet tonight. Myers going around the left. Brought down pretty quickly by Augusta Christian, gain of about 2.
This Augusta Christian team's playing with a lot of heart, and they're really fired up right now. They're very excited to be back in this game, and they know that they can really get their offense back on the field and get a lead. So they're gonna try their best to stop Myers. Hammond offense is, like I said earlier, going to have to give Nick Garrett some easy throws. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him a screen pass to Myers, or if Doak Fisher or Kenny Heath had a receiver, a bubble route or something. Here he comes again.
There's the pass to the left side. That's a gain of 10, 15, and brought down, gain of about 18 yards. Finally tackled by number 9, David Hall.
And why not throw it to Braden Shockley? He's the best athlete on the team, in my opinion, and it's a good play call by Kimry. He faked the pass to the right and came back, and Braden Shockley was there on a screen play. And those are the kind of routes that he needs to be throwing to right now until he really gets his confidence down and until he gets into the feel and groove of the game.
Yep, Garrett in the shotgun again. Myers to his right.
Already pushed him into Augusta Christian territory, too.
Low snap. Myers.
Oh.
And we've got a scramble there down at the ball. A couple people actually dropped that ball. Have to see who eventually.
Augusta Christian really thinks they have it, and they do.
Ooh, that's a tough break for the Skyhawks. I think Augusta Christian realizes that both teams here are undefeated, and whichever one wins, and I don't want to sound presumptuous, but whichever team wins has the fast track to the Skeeza Championship, and Hammond just not playing like they realize that right now.
Well, everything has just gone wrong for them so far, and a turnover is something they don't commit too many turnovers. They especially don't commit too many fumbles. I mean, and that's just a result of all the bad snaps we've seen tonight. Something's going on there with the exchange between the quarterback and the center, and that's not just Nick Garrett's fault. We see that when Jake Nidifer was back in at quarterback. We'll see how the offense does for Augusta Christian.
Robertson throwing a bullet, but it's dropped. Intended for number 8, Nick Fortenberry.
And you can tell that they are really trying to cut into this Skyhawk secondary, because it looks like Robertson had some room to scramble and get a pretty good gain there on the play, but he looked downfield and he decided to throw it. So it looks like they're being aggressive here at their play call, and they really want to get a lead here with only 3 minutes left to go in the first half.
3 minutes, 11 seconds here. One thing to note, Augusta Christian has all 3 timeouts, while Hammond only has 1 left. Robertson still in the I formation. Hand off to Banks going around the right. Looked like he was brought down about 3 yards behind the line.
And I think, Dave, they would also be happy to go into the halftime with a tie game, but a lead would be just absolutely incredible. To score 21 straight unanswered points against Hammond. That's essentially unheard of.
Yes, absolutely. Come to think of it, I can't remember the last time anyone scored 21 points against Hammond at all. This is interesting. Roberson going back into the shotgun here. Using that bunch to the right formation.
Big third down, Dave.
Taking the pass. And that was a pretty weak pass there. Incomplete.
The Hammond secondary has played pretty good all night, Dave. They haven't found any success throwing the football tonight. And that's been the strength of this defense all year. It's been how well the secondary covers. Even without Grant Hensley, Knox McCutcheon's a good athlete, and he's covering the absence of that senior cornerback there.
Scott's coming up to try and block the punt. No go. Shockley going to return it from the 25. Nice return there, about 9 yards, and we have a flag after the play. I think this has to be another personal foul here. I'm not sure what else could be thrown in that air except maybe a late block in the back. It's a personal foul against Augusta Christian, so that'll help the Skyhawks out quite a bit. 2 minutes, 13 seconds left in the half. And
they can easily, take their time here, Dave. 2 minutes left. They can hand the ball off to Myers and mix in the run and the pass some and try and get their balance back. The first few drives we saw them, with really good balance. But obviously that's changed. So, they don't have to hurry too much here. 2 minutes is pretty comfortable timing.
Yep. The Skyhawks offense has looked pretty listless since Nidifer was carted off the field. Have to see if they get any better on this drive. Faking the hand to Myers. Garrett going around the right side. Oh, and Augusta Christian was not prepared for this. Garrett's up to about the 30-yard line.
And right there, Dave, that's the perk of Nick Garrett being your quarterback. He can do that. He can, tuck it and run it or give another good handoff or fake handoff, to Myers. And he's a pretty athletic, fast kid. He's pretty big as well. He can rumble through some tackles, and right there, that's just a solid run.
Yep. And And with that run, Nidifer and Garrett have combined to go over 50 yards in this half on 4 run plays.
We should see a lot more of that in the second half as he continues at quarterback.
Shockley overthrown.
Braden didn't have a chance there. Nick Garrett was eyeing him all the way. He was covered well, and it was just not a good throw. That's the second one like that we've seen by Nick Garrett. So, maybe we won't see too many fades from him. We should probably see some more, short to mid-range passes.
Yep. I think Garrett's passes do tend to float quite a bit from what I've seen tonight, which on the one hand it gives your receiver ample time to get to it, but it also gives the defender quite a bit of time to get there.
Well, with such speedy receivers like Braden Shockley, he just needs to put a little less air under that ball. And there he goes again.
Another fake hand up to Myers. Garrett inside the 20 and brought down at the 15-yard line. That was number 34, Bryson Ashmore, on the tackle.
He's got a real knack for running the football, Dave. Very savvy runner. Finds the hole, picks it, and just cuts it upfield.
First and 10 at the 15. Hammond getting lined up quickly. And we have a timeout on the field. Augusta Christian taking their first timeout. Still 14-14 with 1 minute, 20 seconds to go in the half.
And they needed that timeout. They're letting Nick Garrett kind of gash him a little bit on those runs. They might want to make some defensive adjustments, see if they can stop him and stop Myers at the same time. That might be difficult for them to do. And that right there might be the answer for Hammond. They might need to just ride number 7 and number 8 all night, handing off to Myers and then letting Nick Garrett running the football on some designed or QB runs. But right now, it looks like they don't have an answer for him.
Yep. Against the less potent offense, I would suggest maybe putting a spy on Garrett, but you cannot do that and leave a player open where Quayshawn Myers is.
Well, they cannot forget about number 7, that's for sure.
Oh, that was... It was...
I got the guy's name. I wonder how long it was.
Okay. 68 yards. And who was it? It was number 6?
1 minute and 20 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, number 6.
That would be 1 minute, 20 seconds to go in the half. Garrett in the shotgun. Myers to his right. There's a run for Garrett. Past the 10. Trying to get away there. It looked like he dove back a couple yards.
It looked like he tried to cut back, and that's the one rule that you never do as a runner, football. You never try to go backwards. You always want to try and go forward.
Nope.
Right there, he made a rookie mistake.
Still gain of 5 there, though. Skyhawks have 2nd and 5 from the 10-yard lines. We're under a minute. Hand off to Myers, going up the middle. And Myers brought down after a short gain.
And now we're under a minute, Dave. They might have to start hurrying up, and they don't want to be, they don't want to be too free with the clock management here. They want to be smart.
Yep. Skyhawks in the shotgun here, getting lined up quickly. They still have 1 timeout left. Hand up to Myers. Myers not really sure where to go, and he's brought down by number 34, Ashmore.
I think he might have gotten it there, Dave, but it's going to be close. The clock's still running.
Hammond take their timeout. That's 22 seconds left in the half.
No gain on the last play, though. We spotted at the 6-yard.
There was no gain. Ball spotted at the 6-yard line now. 4th and 1.
4th down and 1.
Well, Robert, what do you think they should do here? Should they give it to Krupa and go for a lead in the half, or should they go for it all here?
Well, Kimry's a very aggressive play caller. Right here, they're going to get the first down. It is 4th down, it looks like, and I think they're going to try and pound it with either Nick Garrett or Quayshawn Myers, and unless they're forced to from the clock, I think they're going to do all they can to get a touchdown right here. And why not? That would really, it's a tale of 2 quarters, really. Hammond kind of dominated the first quarter and just flipped to the other side. It looks like, different team, out there. And Augusta Christian really owned the second quarter yet. And if they can go in there with a touchdown lead, that gives Hammond a lot of momentum getting back out second half.
Scott's coming in the line quickly. I have to imagine that Kimmer would have called 2 plays there to tell the Skyhawks what to do if they convert. Garrett looking to pass. And that's a touchdown, Skyhawks.
That's a great play call there by Eric Kimry there. Oh.
Receivers are signaling referees are signaling that he was out of bounds.
Oh, wow.
No touchdown.
That's surprising. They had a wide open man. It looked like it was Bo Acuff out there in the end zone. And that's the kind of throw we saw earlier that worked to Braden Shockley, and the defense bit on that fake run. That's just heartbreaking. And now Augusta Christian can feel pretty good about going into halftime with the tie game, Dave.
Absolutely.
That's going to hurt.
And they're just going to kneel it down and run out the clock until the half. So we've seen Augusta Christian and Hammond both strike for consecutive touchdowns here as we're tied 14-14. Thanks, and stick with us. We'll be back after the half. right, folks, good evening, and if you're just joining us, welcome to Eden Stadium for this Hammond Augusta Christian game between two undefeated teams. Hammond's 8-0 and Augusta Christian is 7-0. Two Skiza heavyweights, and they're all tied up tonight. We have a bit of an update on Hammond quarterback Jake Nidifer. He was taken off and taken to the hospital for precautionary testing. Looks like it could be a concussion, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'd like to welcome Jay Roberts back to the booth.
How you doing, Dave?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. This is a great game we're watching tonight.
Absolutely, and we're getting ready. Hammond's going to kick off to Augusta Christian to start the third quarter. Cooper's kick going deep. Caught about the 14-yard line. Past the 20. Banks has at the 40. And Banks is finally... No, he's not brought down. Banks finally ran out of bounds deep into Hammond territory.
I tell you, Dave, Thomas Banks is very fast.
Absolutely. We saw him doing some damage at running back earlier today, but first I'd seen it was such a long kick return, other than the one earlier today by Knox McCutcheon, who, of course, plays for the Skyhawks. So the ball's going to be spotted at the Hammond 39-yard line for Augusta Christian's first drive of the second half. Coming back out in that I formation. Robertson with a handoff to Banks. Banks gained about 6 yards there. Tackled by number 80, Doak Fisher of the Skyhawks. Robertson getting ready for the snap. It's another handoff to Banks. Banks ran into a wall at about the 32-yard line to be a gain of about 2-3 yards.
Dave, we saw the Lions come out about the first two drives just passing, and now we were rarely seeing them pass the ball at all. I wonder what's up with that.
Yep. I think we saw once they switched out of the spread formation, Augusta Christian's offense got a lot more potent. Robertson still in the I formation. Whoa, and we have quite the false start there. And Augusta Christian looks like they know it was on them. That's a false start, be a 5-yard penalty.
Dave, there haven't been many penalties in this game as any other game the Skyhawks usually play in. I'm very surprised.
Yep, we've seen a couple of big penalties, though. A few unsportsmanlike conducts and personal fouls on either side. So it's 3rd and 8 now. Robertson in the shotgun for the first time this half. There's the snap. Taking the handoff to Banks. Robertson going to take it himself. And that was sniffed out all the way by the Skyhawks. No gain, and it's 4th down.
We saw Robertson looking for the read right there, see if the end would pick him up or pick up Thomas Banks. And well, I don't really know what happened, but Robertson kept the ball and had no game.
Yep. Very good containment defense by the Skyhawks there. So number 26, Heath Brace in the punt. There's the punt. Looks like it will not be returned by the Skyhawks. Going to be downed at the 10-yard line by Augusta Christian.
Great defensive effort by the Skyhawks on that drive. Getting a 4 and out and putting the offense back on the field.
Yep, have to see if their offense can match it. Nick Garrett now coming in to start quarterback for the Skyhawks after the injury to Jake Nidifer. Again, Nidifer was taken to the hospital for precautionary tests, so it was serious enough for him to leave the game, but shouldn't be too terribly serious. Of course, I suppose anytime you have an injury, it is serious. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him, of course. Hand off to Myers, going around the left. Making a defender miss there. Myers at the 20. And finally brought down by a couple of Lions at the 25-yard line. 8 minutes, 27 seconds to go in the third quarter.
And, Dave, it seems that Thomas Banks and Quayshawn Myers are very similar in their running styles. They're both elusive, both can run downhill, and they're just so shifty, and it's hard to tackle them. And if they get out in the open, you're not going to catch them.
Yep. Neither of them are huge, but they can both run through a couple of pretty big tacklers. Augusta Christian in a 4-3 defense as Nick Garrett waits for the call. There's the snap. Faking the handoff to Myers. Garrett's going around the right side. And he's brought down at about the 35-yard line.
And, Dave, we can expect to see a little bit more optioning and a little more running from the Skyhawks since Jake Nottifer is out of the game.
Yep. Nottifer quite the pocket passer. Nick Garrett couldn't be more different.
Exact opposites.
That they are. Skyhawks still in the shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Garrett going to pass. Looking short for Logan Smith. Smith has the catch. Ooh, taking a hard shot there at the 45-yard line, but that's a first down, Skyhawks.
Taking a hard shot by number 2, Sean Sweeting there, and I tell you, he's a very big boy.
Absolutely.
Looks like he's standing at about 6'4" from up here, Dave, and about 225, solid, I'd say.
Yep, one of the bigger players on the team, certainly. Garrett, take the snap, handing off to Myers. Myers breaks 1 tackle. He's at the 50, and looks like he stepped out of bounds around the 49-yard line. Tackled by number 42, Alan Worsham. Ball's going to be spotted at the 50-yard line, and it's 2nd and 5. Skyhawks with 3 wide receivers to the right side. Garrett going to roll out. And that was, I don't even know why Shockley would try to make that catch. He was way behind the line there, and Augusta Christian had that one sniffed out all the way through. I suppose the only reason Shockley would try to catch that would be to prevent a fumble, but it looked like the pass was going out of bounds anyway.
I agree, Dave. But you never know on the field, so that's a great job by Shockley just going with his first mind.
Yep, to keep the possession. 3rd and 13 now, just over 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Garrett taking the snap, looking to pass. Big rush from Augusta Christian. Got to Myers, but there looked like a loss on that play. Brought down by number 13, Devontae Shanks. Also number 56, Matt Hurstworm on the tackle. It's a loss of 2 on the pass, and it's 4th and 15. Logan Smith ready to punt. With Smith, you never really know what you're going to get out of a punt, whether it's going to be a shank or a beauty. This one looks pretty good.
Nice booming punt by Logan Smith.
Yep. Going to be down at about the 20-yard line. And if you're hearing echoes of the World Cup in the crowd, I believe we have a Vuvuzela section visiting from Augusta Christian. So Augusta Christian going to take over from their own 20-yard line here, looking to break this tie.
Lions first and 10 from their own 20. Number 10, Tyler Roberson, continuing at quarterback.
Roberson in the shotgun now. We got a bit of a delay on the field. Not sure what's going on there. Could just be a respot of the ball. So Roberson ready for the snap. There it is, looking to pass. A very quick pass. That was number 8, Fortenberry. And Fortenberry brought down at the 21-yard line. That was number 23 of the Skyhawks. Sam Ulmer on the tackle. Number 2, Ronald Brown, also on that tackle. Brown actually is leading the Skyhawks in interceptions today, although I don't think they're going to get many out of Roberson. He hasn't thrown a pick all season.
I agree, Dave, and I don't think he's going to get a pick because they're not going to pass the ball anymore, I believe. Absolutely. They're just going to run the ball, and maybe mix in a pass or two in between those.
Yep. And when they do pass, those very short, quick passes. The handoff to Banks, going to the left. Banks has a bit of room there, gain of about 6. Brought down by number 1, Braden Shockley. So we're going to see a 3rd and about 3 here. So the stadium is getting loud now. Big 3rd down for the Lions. Just over 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And that was going right up the gut. This is going to be close. We've seen a lot of close calls on 1st down conversions tonight. Sweeney with the run, brought down by number 2, Ronald Brown, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down.
I hate to say this, Dave, but if it's a short yardage and they give it to Sweeting, I mean, it's almost an automatic 1st down with his size and just his strength. He's just going to push forward.
Yep. Sweeney's a very tough runner, and even when they don't hand it off to Sweeney, they can fake the handoff to Sweeney, and Hammond has to bite, or else they can let Sweeney rip through him. Excuse me, Sweeting. It's a gain of about 2 yards on the run. Brought down by Bo Acuff. Second and 8 now for the Lions. 6 minutes, 3 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Roberson in the shotgun. The snap. Looks like a handoff to Banks. Banks going around the left. It's a gain of about 5 or 6 yards there. 3rd and about 2.
And as you heard one of the fans say, wrap Thomas Banks up, and the fan is exactly right. We need to wrap him up and bring him down. He's breaking off a lot of tackles, and we need to stop that immediately.
Much easier said than done, though.
I agree, Dave. He's just so elusive and just so shifty that he's very hard to tackle.
Augusta Christian coming out in the I formation now. Number 8, Nick Fortenberry at the bottom of your screen. Got to watch him if they're going to pass. And it is a pass. And that is definitely enough for the 1st down. Brought down right around the 49-yard line. That was number 38, Grant Newman on the reception. First reception of the night, I believe. Well, 1st and 10 from the 50 for the Lions now. Hoping to drive into Hammond territory and break the tie. A score in this possession would also give Augusta Christian their first lead of the ball game. There's a handoff to Banks, going to the left. Got a bit of room, gain of about 5 yards there before being brought down by number 2, Ron Brown.
And we see, every time Banks run, we see him just getting behind Sweeting or a big offensive lineman, just following their lead and then breaking off after about 5 yards and getting a big gain. So, I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to do, but Hammond needs to nip that in the bud right now.
Yep. Got to wrap him up and bring him down because he's breaking a lot of tackles in the backfield. There's the snap. Another fake. No, it is a handoff to Banks. Excuse me. Gain of about 3 or 4 there, depending on the spot. Brought out of bounds by Bo Acuff of the Skyhawks. So it's a gain of 3, and it's 3rd and 2 for the Lions. Ball's at the 45-yard line. We're just over 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. And I'm on. It went there. It looks like Roberson kept it, and that is enough for a first down. So Augusta Christian converting again.
And Dave, Hammond's defense needs a big stop right here to get their offense back on the field. I mean, they just need to stop this drive right now.
Yep. They look tired, disheartened. They're getting to the third down point, all right, but it's always 3rd and short, and 3rd and short is where Augusta Christian is at their deadliest.
Because they mix in the run with Sean Sweeting or number 21, Thomas Banks.
And there's a run. Gain of about 6 or 7 on the play. Looks like that was Banks again. Tackled by number 54, William Love of the Skyhawks. 2nd and 4 now for the Lions. 1 minute, 30 seconds to go in the quarter.
Dave, seems like William Love leads the team in tackles with 105, maybe about 110 now because he's had a great game so far.
Absolutely. Although I have to say, I believe William Love's tackles are somewhere more manageable, around 80 points. 110 would be quite the feat for Love, but you never know. He's certainly led the Skyhawks with quite a few tackles this season. 1st and 10 now for the Lions from the 28-yard line. There's a run there by Sweeting. Gain of about 3 yards as he's brought out of bounds.
Number 2, Sean Sweeting, the ball carrier. Taken out of bounds by number 21, Bo Acuff.
Number 84, Cannon Smith coming on for the Skyhawks. Looks like he's bringing out number 21, Bo Acuff. So that was only a 1-yard gain at 2nd and 9 for the Lions. Clock's at 25 seconds and counting in the third quarter. Still all tied up. Roberson in the I formation. Hand off to Banks. Banks going around the left. Gain of maybe 4 or 5 yards. Excuse me, that was Sweeting. Brought down by number 84, Cannon Smith.
And what do you know, Dave? Cannon just came in to replace Bo Acuff, and it makes an immediate impact as soon as he comes in the game.
Well, that's why he's already committed to play for Clemson. So the score is 14-14 as we go on to the fourth quarter. All tied up in a battle of the unbeatens.
Banks has 84 yards rushing.
84?
Yeah.
Have they? Yeah. What? All on the ground.
I don't think so, no. Yeah.
And it's 9:13 going into the fourth quarter. This is unbelievable.
Somebody scored.
Unbelievable.
No more entries, and somebody scored.
Well, team's going to switch sides here to start the fourth quarter. Still knotted up at 14 points apiece. 3rd and 8 now for the Lions on a big, big 3rd down. Banks has about 84 yards rushing already in tonight's game. Have to imagine they might go back to him here. Might try a pass, too. It is a pass for Roberson. Faking it and throwing it downfield. And the pass is complete. That was number 38, Grant Newman, on the catch. So a big first down for the Lions, and they're in prime position to score.
And that was a great route ran by number 38, Grant Newman. And he got a little hitch and go, and he got our cornerback and basically just outran him.
Yep, Skyhawks already playing shorthanded after the injury to Grant Hensley. And Roberson is in 1 yard for the touchdown. So the Lions are now up 20-14 on the Skyhawks, their first lead of the night. Heath Brace on to attempt the extra point. Brace's kick is up. Looked like someone got a hand on it, but it's good. So 21-14 Augusta Christian with 11 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game. Now, though, the dominant way of thinking in the last few years has been that the road to the SCISA championship lies here at Eden Stadium, but tonight Augusta Christian's playing like a much better team.
Absolutely, Dave. And I have to say, I'll give Augusta Christian credit. They're a great team, but we'd be doing a lot better if we had Jake Nidifer and not taking anything away from Nick Garrett. But he's just a senior and he's a leader of the team, so, I mean, it's going to hurt.
Absolutely. Garrett, just a sophomore, seeing his first real game time action here tonight, other than a bit of mop-up duty and garbage time games. So obviously there are going to be a few growing pains, but we'll have to see if Garrett has the stuff to lead the Skyhawks on a touchdown drive to score this, tie this game up. Brace ready to kick off for the Lions. Shockley and Myers back deep to return for the Skyhawks. Short kick by Brace. Fielded at the 30. Turned at the 40. And finally went out of bounds around the 46 or 47 yard line. That was number 84, Cannon Smith, on the return.
Again, the Clemson commit showing a great amount of speed and power on that one. Hitting the sideline and just kept on trucking until he was pushed out of bounds.
That ball's actually going to be spotted at the 42 yard line. 11 and a half minutes left. Garrett still in at quarterback for the Skyhawks after that scary injury to Jake Nidifer. It's like a toss to Myers. Myers cutting it upfield. Well, I got to say, I thought he was going to be dropped for a loss there, but he turned it into a 2 or 3 yard gain. Brought down by number 7, Gage Gilbert.
And Dave, I say Coach Kemery, my opinion on this is I say that Coach Kemery should establish the run, then I say do the same thing Augusta Christian did, is do the hitch and go and try to get the cornerback to bite and just throw it over top.
Yep, well, Nick Garrett, he hasn't been planned for by the Lions, which is a plus for the Skyhawks, but he's also not as much to be feared as Nidifer was, at least not throwing the ball. Myers picking up a low snap. He's got past the 50 and brought down at the 45 yard line, so that's a first down, Skyhawks.
And Dave, I can't say this all the time, but it's safe to say tonight that the Hammond offensive line has been inconsistent. Either Quayshawn gets stuffed in the backfield or he has a beautiful run just like the one that just passed.
Yep. I don't think anyone's been really more inconsistent this entire season than Rue Daniels, the center, who's been really the model of consistency for the Skyhawks in recent years. You saw him honored at halftime along with his brothers, but he's had some low snaps tonight. Garrett running on his own there, and that's a big, big gain. Pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and Hammond is driving. They really want to tie this one up.
And that is Nick Garrett at his best, Dave. Just reading the defense. Saw that if he handed Quayshawn the ball, he'd have been stuffed. So he pulled it out, ran it, got about 15 yards, 20 yards, and that was a great run.
First and 10 from the 30-yard line now for the Skyhawks. And I have to say, Garrett looks like he'll be the starting quarterback of the Skyhawks for the next 2 years. He looks all right for his debut.
And next year, that will end the 94 dynasty.
Tipped pass there. It is incomplete. It was tipped by number 56, Matt Hertzworm. Pass was intended to go to number 1, Braden Shockley of the Skyhawks. It's 2nd and 10. And the Skyhawks have just 10 minutes, 13 seconds left to take the lead or to suffer their first loss of the season. Handing off to Myers. Myers broke 1 tackle. He's still running and finally brought down. That looks like a first down for Playon Myers.
And Dave, we hadn't seen the duo of running backs that Coach Cameron likes to use in Logan Smith and Quayshawn Myers. We just mainly seen Quayshawn Myers, and I mean, why take him out? He's doing such a great job so far.
Absolutely. I think what that might be due to is that earlier in the season, the Skyhawks were really riding Quayshawn Myers for the first couple games, and they just brought Logan in to give him a bit of a breather because, let's face it, Logan can play any position on the field.
I agree, Dave, including quarterback.
Yep. And Myers didn't get too much there. Maybe a loss of a yard. Brought down by Devontae Shanks. That's a loss of 1. It's 2nd and 11 for the Skyhawks, just inside the red zone. Garrett takes the snap, handing it off to Myers, going around the right. And Myers has a big, big hole. Cutting back.
Touchdown!
Touchdown Skyhawks. And this
Touchdown Skyhawks.
21-20 now.
Great blocking by the wide receivers, holding their blocks, not holding, but just.
Oh, that's called back on holding by the Skyhawks.
I spoke too soon. As soon as I said great blocking by the wide receivers, it was a holding.
Well, you can tell that nobody in this stadium is too pleased with that call except for the Augusta Christian section. So that'll bring the ball back to the 28-yard line. 2nd and 20 now for the Skyhawks. That's just disheartening.
And I really would like to know who the holding penalty was called on. Maybe one of the wide receivers, as Quayshawn broke away in the open flats.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have that luxury here. So Garrett going to try and get regrouped here. Handing off to Myers again. Looks like the same play. And Myers with a good run. He's still on his feet and still on his feet.
Oh!
And he drags
It's
Augusta
a touchdown!
to the end zone. Touchdown Skyhawks. Myers would not be denied.
And I want to see a penalty called on that play. Just a great, good effort by Quayshawn Myers, pushing. Broke about 5 tackles, and I tell you, that's just a great.
Oh, someone's down. Looks like his injury on the field there. I really don't want to see 1 injury in a game, much less 2 injuries. Both the Skyhawk players, it looks like. We have an injured Skyhawk in the end zone here. Looks like it might be Quayshawn Myers, been the heart and soul of Hammond for this season. 123 yards rushing tonight, but now he's down in the end zone. And he's all right. Myers walking off his own power here. And boy, it's plays like that and someone who gets hurt on a play, but he was able to make a big, big impact on this game that can just get a team energized. And I think that's what we're going to see from Hammond. They'll be playing with a vengeance for the final 8.5 minutes. Ken Krupa on to attempt the game-tying extra point. All right, I'll just come out and say it. This is an intense game. We have a penalty marker down.
Couldn't say it better, Dave. Very intense game.
Referee's getting pretty flag happy lately. Not sure what this one is. Looks like it's on Hammond. Well, false start on a field goal. Make it just that much harder for Ken Krupa.
Well, let's see what the soccer player has in that old leg. See if he can kick this one in.
That was a personnel penalty on Hammond. Too many men on the field. Oh, and the extra point is blocked. So it's still 21-20. Augusta Christian still has the lead. And you can just hear their section roaring all the way across the field. That is just unbelievable. Incredible play by the Augusta Christian defense there.
Dave, it's safe to say that that kick wasn't blocked. It had a little elevation. It's still asking much for Ken Krupa, just coming back off an injury. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure his ankle's still hurt, but they didn't block it. It was just a kick that didn't have a lot of elevation on it.
Oh, well, that's disappointing either way you look at it.
Exactly.
Also, the Skyhawks are still going to need to go back downfield and score again if they want to take home a victory here and remain undefeated.
But before that happens, the Skyhawks need a huge defensive drive. They need a huge defensive drive. They need a big hold to stop this Augusta Christian offense and stop the trifecta. Sean Sweeting, Thomas Banks, and Tyler Roberson. They have been the key factors in this game.
Hammond would much rather have the lead here, not just for the obvious reasons, but the onside kick. And it looks like it's recovered by Augusta Christian. Oh, wait. Referee initially signaling Augusta Christian. Kimry is not happy with that call. And Augusta Christian recovered it. Kimry is not happy. He's halfway on the field there, and you can hear him screaming from here. Ball's going to be spotted at the Augusta Christian 47-yard line.
And Dave, we don't see Coach Kimry argue on a call mainly, but it's safe to say, I don't know. That's just a tough one. He doesn't usually argue unless it's really close.
And we have a flag on the field now.
Hopefully it's...
And it's offsides on Augusta Christian, so that will help Hammond make up a bit of the yardage there.
Just a 5-yard penalty. But still benefits the Hammond defense.
8 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the game. Roberson the shotgun. Taking the handoff to Banks. No, Banks does have it. And he's brought down right around the line. Second and about 15 here.
Great defensive push by the Hammond defensive line, and Jordan Cox coming up with the tackle.
And another penalty on the field. Wow.
You have to be kidding me.
You know, if this was 3 weeks ago, I'd have made an NFL replacing referees joke, but unfortunately, just going to have to wonder what the penalty is here. So an automatic first down, and the ball moves up to the 48-yard line. Interesting. Roberson still in the shotgun here. Looking to run the option. Roberson trying to get outside. And a couple of hard hits by the Skyhawks. He's pushed out of bounds right around the 50-yard line.
And, of course, by the hard-hitting Logan Smith to knock him out of bounds. And, gosh, we heard some pads clap on that one.
Yep. Actually, the ball's going to be spotted at about the 47-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5. Hammond and Augusta Christian each have all 3 timeouts, so this game's far from over. But 7 minutes, 45 seconds left. Hammond needs to get a stop, and they need to score. Roberson handing off to Sweeting. Nope, it's a pitch to Banks. Banks is the first down Oh, and that's a huge gain for Banks. Brought down just outside the 20-yard line.
Yes, sir.
And this one's coming back. Looks like this penalty is going against Augusta Christian. That will bring that long run by Banks back.
And I hope this isn't just like the Hammond offensive drive where a holding penalty was called on the offensive line, and Quayshawn Myers, the next place, got a big run and scored a touchdown. So I'm hoping this doesn't favor Augusta Christian.
Speaking of Myers, he's now sitting down on the bench right where Nightford was sitting earlier today, so not sure if he'll be back in the game or not. Talking with the trainers. I'll have to at least be happy that the Skyhawks are deeper at running back and that Myers' injury doesn't look to be as serious as Nightford's.
And if Myers is out, the options are Logan Smith and Knox McCutcheon, and I'll take my chances with Logan Smith and Knox because you have a shifty runner in Knox, as you saw on that kick return, and you have a power back with Logan Smith. And like you said earlier, Dave, he can play any position on the field.
So that penalty was a block in the back, and the ball is going to be spotted at Augusta Christian's 45-yard line. It'll be second and about 13 here. I'll come right out and say it. This has got to be the biggest set of downs in the game. Man in motion now for Augusta Christian. Hand off to Sweeting, and that went nowhere.
Hammond recovers the ball!
The fumble! And Hammond playing like they want it in the fourth quarter. Sweeting fumbled on the quick handoff. Recovered by number 2, Ronald Brown. Also leading the Skyhawks with 3 interceptions this season. Brown has been a do-it-all player this season, and he is really a ball hawk.
Oh, Dave. I might have to retire after this game. This game is killing me.
I hear you. Taking the hand up to Myers is Garrett, but this time Augusta Christian had him sniffed out, brought down at the 50-yard line.
And Dave, expect Augusta Christian just fumbling the ball. Expect their defense to come out like a bat out of you-know-what, and they're just going to fire it up right here and come right after the Hammond offensive line.
Loss of 1. The Skyhawks might be in trouble if Augusta Christians figure out how to sniff out the Garrett run. We have 6 minutes, 50 seconds left in the quarter here. Myers has the run, and he's up at about the 38-yard line. Brought down, looks like it'll be a first down, Skyhawks. Brought down by Taryn Quarles and Jacob Greenway of the Lions. Ball spotted at the 39-yard line. It is a first down, Hammond, and this might be the best game I've ever seen the Skyhawks in.
And it's just showing how much heart they have. Just losing their senior quarterback for the rest of the game. And, I mean, this Hammond offense and the Hammond team has showed a lot of gut, just a lot of heart, Dave.
A run by Garrett. Garrett finding a hole. He's at the 30, the 25, and he's finally brought down. That's a gain of about 14 for Garrett. Just over 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
And Dave, do you think that Coach Kimmery will try to run a little bit of the clock or just try to go ahead and get ahead of Augusta Christian?
I think first you got to focus on being able to get in the range of the Ken Krupa's field goal, which I would say to be really safe you have to get around the 15-yard line since he's missed a few tonight. Of course, once he gets inside the 15, I think you just got to give it to Myers. Or just not wait, give it to Myers now as he's going upfield. That looks close to a first down for Myers. Brought down by number 34, Bryson Ashmore. Gain of 8 for Myers. It's 2nd and 2. 6 minutes, 18 seconds and counting. Garrett in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to his right. Handing off to Myers. Play is blown dead.
Markers on the field. Play is blown dead.
Looks like it was thrown in the area of offsides, but not sure about that yet. And it's a false start against Hammond. Looked a little late to be calling a false start.
I agree, Dave. As soon as you notice it, you're supposed to blow your whistle as a referee, but I guess it didn't happen that right there.
Well, looks like we're seeing a bit of a sloppy fourth quarter, but Hammond is really playing like they want it. So I guess the question right now is going to be, can Hammond overcome their own blunders and get into the end zone on this drive? 4 minutes, 45 seconds. There's the snap. Garrett going to run. Eludes the tackler from behind. He's inside the 20, inside the 15, and finally down to about the 10-yard line. First down, Garrett. Brought down by number 2, Sean Sweeting.
And a defender was running right behind Garrett. I thought he was going to make a shoestring tackle, but Garrett was able to get away and able to get a first down.
Oh, Garrett's fast, no question about that. And it's a 1st and 10 now from the Augusta Christian 11-yard line.
Absolutely, Dave. I'm guessing he heard footsteps and said, well, I guess it's time to put on the turbo. And he definitely hit the turbo, I'll tell you that.
Well, now I just have to see if he can do it again. 4 minutes and 8 seconds and counting now. Hammond still has all 3 timeouts. Hand off to Myers. Myers following his blockers, and he is brought down at the 1-yard line. Brought down by number 16, Kobe Brinson. And, well, Jay, what do you think Cameron's going to do? Do you think the quarterback sneak, hand it off to Myers? Going to try passing it? What do you think?
Well, you named 2 of the most high options, and that is a quarterback sneak with Nick Garrett. Just follow Rue Daniels to center, or hand it off to Myers. I mean, either one of them, I think, is a great option. And we're in a shotgun, so take away the quarterback sneak.
We have, looks like, run to Quayshawn Myers here. Looked like he got stuffed.
I can't
really see. That's still Nick Garrett at quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, that was low. Gain of 1, and it will be a 1st down and 1 from the 1-yard line. Well, that's why I think just about any coach would rather have a 1st and 10 from the 11 than a 1st and goal from the 10, because you get the 1st down right there, and now the Skyhawks have 4 downs to punch it in and take the lead.
Absolutely, Dave.
And we're closing in on the 2-minute and 30-second mark here in the fourth quarter. Garrett, low snap. And he's
touchdown!
Touchdown, Skyhawks! Nick Garrett carrying it in himself for the touchdown, and that makes it 26-21 Skyhawks.
And I'm guessing Coach Kimmery is going to go for the extra point here and not risk it with the field goal, because if the Lions score, they will go ahead of the Skyhawks if we just kick a field goal.
Yep, Krupa looks like he's still on the sidelines here, so we are going to see the Skyhawks go for it. Man in motion for the Skyhawks. Looked like we saw a jump. And that looks like it is offsides on Augusta Christian. Well, not sure how much closer you can get
Split
there.
the difference? Half the difference?
Maybe about 6 or 7 yards.
Now it'd be half the distance to the goal line, Dave. And
6 or 7 feet there.
not really a big help, but we'll take it.
Hey,
half the
every inch
distance.
counts.
Yes, sir. Half the distance to the goal line.
And now the Skyhawks have got to be fired up. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter. They have the lead over a very tough Augusta Christian team. Looks like they're running the same play, man in motion. Faking the handoff to Myers. Looking to go in.
He got it!
He got it! The Skyhawk lead is up to 7 points. 28-21 Hammond. And now Augusta Christian has under 3 minutes to score a touchdown.
And Dave, let's sit back here and think for a minute, because I'm pretty sure Augusta Christian can do it. But Hammond defense needs to come up big right here. Senior William Love needs to lead this team and get a stop and get the ball, and they need to go into victory formation, kneel down the ball.
Yep. William Love, Ronald Brown, Jordan Cox. These are all the playmakers you got to expect to see on this drive. And if Hammond can come out and get a stop, then this game, and hell, I'll say it, this game and even maybe the Skeeza title are right in their control.
Absolutely. Dave, look for this drive to see players fatigue easily, and you may see some of the best offensive players come on defense and try to stop this Augusta Christian offense, and this is going to be an interesting last defensive drive for the Skyhawks, and I'm just excited to see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. Trooper lining up to attempt the kickoff here. There's the kickoff. Short squib kick there. Number 16, Kobe Brinson, diving on it for Augusta Christian. 2 minutes, 47 seconds left.
And Dave, I see what Kimmery tried to do there, but I'm not sure if that was a smart move. I never second-guess Coach Kimmery because he's such a great coach, but I see why you wouldn't want to kick it back off to Banks and whoever else was back there and maybe risk them taking it all the way back. So squib kick, not a bad idea.
Well, you got some fast returners there, definitely. I think Kimmery's just got to be thinking that every second is going to count when you get late in this game, and he just wants to burn off as much time as possible.
Absolutely.
Rubbers in the I formation, and up to Sweeting. Sweeting going up the middle, brought down by number 54. That was William Love. Quishon Myers is in on defense right now, so you were right. The best player is on defense now.
And my sophomore year when I played with Quishon, all he did was play cornerback, so cornerback is no surprise to him.
And we're hearing some loud cheers here from the Hammond side. And Ronald Brown looks like he got a turnover. Absolutely incredible.
Here we go, Skyhawks.
Take a timeout. Well, Augusta Christian just took their first timeout. They have 2 remaining now, down 28-21. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left in the game. Skyhawks coming out for a huge 3rd down and 5 here. And this is quite possibly the biggest play of the game. I know I've said that a couple times tonight, but
you can keep saying it, Dave, because this is the biggest.
And there's a reverse to Banks. Banks going around the left side. And that's a loss of about 4. We're at the 2-minute mark here. It's going to be a 4th down and about 8 here for Augusta Christian. It's got to be 4-down territory for them.
Loss of 2 on the play.
Loss of 2, so we'll be 4th and
down,
7.
boys.
And 8 from the 42.
Falls at the 42-yard line. Augusta Christian needs a timeout to tie it up. Hammond crowding the line of scrimmage. There's a pass from Roberson. And it's incomplete. Oh, we have a flag. It looks like that could be pass interference on number 80, Doak Fisher. I've seen a lot of calls go against him tonight, but I don't really know if you can argue that one. Fisher was playing very physically on the receiver, so that's an... Well, we'll see what the call is here before we go any farther.
Automatic first down? Automatic first down?
So that is a 1st down, and it's defensive pass interference on Doak Fisher. 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line for the Augusta Christian. Well, Roberson still, as we mentioned before, does not have a turnover this year, so the Skyhawks can't just hope for one to fall into their laps. There's a deep pass for Roberson. Got a man running down the sideline. A great play to break up the pass, though. Can't quite tell who it was in the defense there. Looks like it might have been number 23, Sam Omer. It was. Sam Omer with the pass breakup there. 1 minute, 46 seconds left in the game, or at least in regulation.
And I think Augusta Christian is going to try to stay away from whichever side Braden Shockley is on. So
Shockley, Ronald Brown, Quishon Myers, they're all ball hawks, so there's really no way to win throwing against this defense. Robertson alone in the backfield. Looking like he wants to scramble, but finally throwing it.
he got the first down.
Looks like a first down. That was number 2, Sean Sweeting on the catch. Gain of about 10 there. 1 minute, 36 seconds.
Taken out of bounds by number 2.
Brought out of bounds by number 2, Ronald Brown.
The Lions have 2 timeouts to play with, but they expect them to still try to get out of bounds and just try to push her up the field.
Oh, there was no first down there. It's actually a 3rd down and 1 here. Robertson looking to throw. Airing it out. And that's caught by Augusta Christian. And he's brought down at about the 20-yard line, but inbounds. And that's key here as the clock is still running. Brought down by Ronald Brown. Augusta Christian has a 1st and 10, and they're really hurrying up to get to the line now. 1 minute, 22 seconds and counting. It looks like they're going to walk away here. False start on Augusta Christian, so that's 1st and 15 now at the 25-yard line. Well, that's the trouble with a hurry-up offense. If everybody isn't on the same page, you're going to get mistakes. You're going to get false starts.
Absolutely, Dave. And the Skyhawks do a great job of running the no-huddle offense and not having any false start penalties most of the time.
Robertson takes the snap, looking to throw it. Throwing it over the middle. That was caught by number 1, Ian McDaniel. Brought down by the Skyhawks, number 1, Braden Shockley. Second and 6, 50 seconds and counting. Robertson throwing to the end zone. And that's a touchdown to Augusta Christian. But there's a penalty on the play.
Holding! Yes, sir!
That's holding against Augusta Christian, so that touchdown's coming back.
Dave, I know God doesn't care who wins this game, but that had to be nothing but God just now. I'm sorry.
All these insanely opportune times for penalties. The penalty on Quishon Myers' touchdown, and Myers running it right back up the gut. The penalty on that touchdown. It's unbelievable. Robertson throwing the end zone again. And that's a touchdown to Augusta Christian. Well, who said it couldn't happen on 2 drives in a row? Myers did it, and now that's number 8, Nick Fortenberry on the reception and the touchdown. Well, 28-27. 31.8 seconds left in the 4th quarter, and Augusta Christian's going to try and tie this one up. Augusta Christian's going to take a timeout here. I guess just mentally prepare and maybe say a prayer because this is a big extra point.
And Quishon, we saw Quishon Myers try to get in front of the pass and try to block it off, but still, he got a piece of it. But the Augusta Christian wide receiver, he did a great job of Fortenberry. That was an excellent catch.
Yep. Fortenberry, just a junior. Saw a lot of him in the games against Augusta Christian last year. Seen a fair amount of him tonight. He's been a big part of Augusta Christian's offense as they're hoping to tie this one up at 28 all. Pretty incredible, actually. That pass came on a 2nd and 19 from the 31-yard line. Gosh, the symmetry between those 2 touchdown drives is absolutely mind-blowing. Have a long touchdown by Hammond called back for holding, and an even longer touchdown. And then you see the same thing on a couple of passes by Robertson. So Augusta Christian coming on to attempt the extra point.
They're going for it, I think.
Are they? It looks like they're going to go for the first down. I mean, excuse me, for the 2-point conversion. And now Hammond's going to take a timeout, think this one over. Well, 31.8 seconds left. I guess if you have the great group of Tyler Roberson, Sean Sweeting, and Thomas Banks at running backs and quarterback, you can, well, I'll just say this. Keith Walton has a lot of faith in his offense if he's going to try it here rather than tie it up.
Absolutely.
And now I think it must be Hammond's turn to say the prayer.
If you're a head coach, this is one of the most nerve-wracking games that there possibly is.
Yep.
So,
adding to it, Hammond, if the 2-point conversion is good, then Hammond would have 31 seconds to go down the field. But remember, they are with their backup quarterback here, a sophomore with little to no game experience. So I think Hammond has to do all they can to avoid giving up the 2-point conversion here. And I think we've got to be seeing a run from one of the three, either the quarterback or the 2 running backs here, trying to just get those 2 yards.
or Dave, we might even see Tyler Roberson try the fake run it in, lob it up to the wide receiver on the side, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that because they have no wideouts spread it out, really.
I formation here. Roberson going to hand it off. No, it's a pass. And it's complete, and it's good. So it makes it 29-28 Augusta Christian. What a game. So the Augusta Christian 2-point conversion is good on the pass. It looked like it was to Nick Fortenberry from Tyler Roberson. And Hammond has 31.8 seconds left to try and just take it down the field and score. Looks like Hammond's going to have to get to, as I said before, I say the way to be really confident in Ken Krupa's field goal range is about the 15-yard line and closer. That would make it about a 32-yard field goal, which I think is really around his limit. Of course, if possible, you want to get as close as you can.
And Dave, the stadium is almost at complete silence besides the Augusta Christian crowd, and this is just a bummer for the Skyhawk crowd right now.
Yeah, it was. This crowd has been extremely loud, and now they're deadly silent. High kick. Going to be returned here by Shockley. Shockley up to the 30-yard line. Breaking a tackle, brought down around the 35-yard line. So the Skyhawks have to go a minimum of about 70 yards here to get in range of Ken Krupa's field goal. Well, Jay, you think we can do it?
I think we can. It's not over till the fat lady said it's over, as almost everybody says.
Ball's at the Skyhawks 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Hammond still has 2 timeouts to burn.
Never underestimate Coach Kimmery's playbook. And
absolutely.
They just Augusta Christian burns a timeout.
It is Augusta Christian. They will burn their final timeout, 29-28, 26.1 seconds left.
Oh my gosh. Can we get a here we go Skyhawks? Come on.
The crowd here is absolutely silent for the Skyhawks. Everyone just watching with bated breath. 26.1 seconds left. Hammond needs to get at least 1 point to tie it up. Obviously, they can't get 1 point on offense, so they'll be looking for either a field goal or a touchdown.
And
here they come.
Expect the Augusta Christian Lions to be in quarters and protect the deep ball. So that's pretty much out of the question. I guess we'll see a screen here or run and get out of bounds really very fast.
Yep, the run to Quayshawn Myers is never out of the question, but I wouldn't say it's too probable here. Garrett rolling out to throw. Pressure behind him. Pass caught to Cannon Smith, who caught and got quickly out of bounds. 19.8 seconds left, and that's a gain of about 6. Well, Garrett with some pretty good pocket presence there. Well, I suppose he wasn't really in the pocket, but rolled out and managed to sense the pressure behind him and get the pass off to Cannon Smith quickly. Garrett takes the snap, airing it out. Oh, and it's incomplete, intended for Braden Shockley. 14.8 seconds left. 29-28. Hammond still has 2 timeouts. Looks like Kimmery's going to take a timeout here and decide what to do. It's their second timeout of the half, and they have 1 remaining. Oh, whichever team leaves here with the victory, which at this point looks like Augusta Christian, although can't rule anything out, will still be undefeated and will be, I believe, alone for first place in Skiza, but I'm not sure on that one. They will be alone in first place in Skiza. So these are the 2 first place teams in Skiza right now. Whichever one wins will have a fast track to the championship. Whichever loses is going to have to prove it in the playoffs. 3rd and 5 here. Garrett all alone in the backfield. 5 wide receivers. Garrett looking to throw. Pressure. Gets it off. And no one in the area there. Intended for number 84, Cannon Smith. 9 seconds.
And Garrett had no time to even look downfield, really. I mean, the defense end came right off the end and just caused havoc.
That looks like number 82, Taryn Quarles on the pressure. Another big play. Figure the Scots have time for 1, maybe 2 plays here, but that's it. Garrett has Myers in the backfield, probably the block here. Looking to throw. Myers picking up 82. But that was quite the lame duck for Myers. 4 seconds. So 1 play left. Oh, ball turnover on downs. Well, that looks like it. So that was a 4th down and incomplete pass. The Lions get the ball, and they're going to win. Lions improve to 8-0. Hammond drops to 8-1 now after the 29-28 loss to the Lions.
Congratulations to both teams for a very fun-fought, quite high school football game. Final score, Augusta Christian 29, Hammond 28.
And there's the kneel down, so final score 29-28 Augusta Christian, and that's a heartbreaker no matter how you look at it for the Skyhawks. They were in command at the beginning, but they couldn't quite close it off, and then they gave up a couple quick points to Augusta Christian, but they took the lead back, and they just couldn't finish it off here. So 29-28 Augusta Christian. For Jay Roberts and Robert Laney, I'm David Klein. Tune in sooner or later. I'm not sure who our next opponent is.
No.